on, guys? Welcome back to Four Corners of the Galley. I'm GMG, here to bring you and start you off for this brand new week of Week 5 of fantasy football. The coach will be along in a second to give you the starting sits at quarterback, wide receiver, running back, and tight end. Also, his rising stars of the week. GM here just to recap last week. Just to let you guys know, we're still in the bye week process, so make sure you get your buys properly set up. This week, Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Chicago Bears are on bye, so make sure you change your lineups accordingly. Also, the coach has been pretty good this year. He's got a lot of good winners, folks. I know the tight end position is a little crazy, so you got to bear with him on that because no one's really scoring. But other than that, man, enjoy and let's kick it off with a brand new week and get out there and take everyone down, folks. What's going on, fantasy football stars? All right, coach back here for another week of fantasy football advice. So let's kick this sucker right off, folks. All right, into my quarterback. So here's my top quarterbacks to play this week at the position. All right, folks. So this week I'm starting with Mr. Roethlisberger. That's right, Ben Roethlisberger. He's taking on those Atlanta Falcons. Now, you're wondering, why am I taking Ben? Well, I know their record not made good, but fantasy-wise, Ben's still almost throwing over 300 yards a game and getting at least 1 to 2 touchdowns per. And he's taking on the Atlanta Falcons, who were all messed up in the secondary. And with Juju and Antonio Brown healthy, I think they're going to take full advantage of that. And then, going against them, I got Matty Ice, baby, because we're going against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And like I said, they're 1-3, and that defense looks horrible. And I think Matty Ice continues on his streak and gets you another 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. Also going on this week, I got Mr. Cam Newton taking on the New York Giants at home, folks. Cam's coming off a bye. That means everyone's healthy in the beginning of the year. That just means really good stuff for this game. I think Cam comes out with a nice, strong game because he's going to be looking real nice and clean and healthy this week. All right, and then last but not least, folks, I got Mr. Phillip Rivers. He's at home taking on those Oakland Raiders. Now, I know this might be an Oakland Raider home game because it's here in L.A. and it's basically their home stadium, but I think that Phillip Rivers and that team is going to eat alive that defense for the Raiders, who have no pass rush. I wonder why, Chucky. And they're going to eat that secondary to death. If they can't rush him, Phillip Rivers got all day, he's going to tear him up, folks. And my rising star of the week, folks, well, I got Mr. Blake Bortles for the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Kansas City Chiefs at Kansas City. And you're thinking to yourself, what are you doing, man? The Chiefs are 4-0. Yeah, but they also got the worst ranked defense in all the league. Yeah, they look good against Denver. That's Case Keenum, folks. He's been on everybody's team. We're talking about Blake Bortles and the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think that defense is going to actually do a little damage against Mahomes, and Blake Bortles is going to do the rest. So that's my rising star, folks. And like every week, the coach has to sit a couple people down, and here's my sit down of the week. So this week, I'm going with Mr. Russell Wilson at home against those Rams. And I know he's at home, but Russell just hasn't been Russell. That team looks pretty lost. The running game's a mess, and you got the best ranked team coming in the league, coming into your house? Yeah. Rams are going to shut you down, and Russell's probably only get you 1 touchdown and less than 200 yards throwing, guys. That's not the fantasy numbers you need. Also on my list, I got Mr. Eli throw touchdown Bannon. He's taking on those Carolina Panthers in Carolina. They're healthy, coming off a bye. Eli going to get shut down this week, folks. You might get a little Barkley, but Eli going to get you much. All right, guys, now that I give you those quarterbacks, let's kick it over to those divas and give you the wide receivers for this week. All right, folks. Now let me give you my wide receivers for the week. But got a little something else actually added to this. So every week now, I'm not going to give you these players because these are the watch the throne players. These guys, you start no matter who they play, no matter what. And on that list is Mr. Antonio Brown, Mr. Julio Jones, and Mr. Michael Thomas. I don't care who they're playing, folks. You start them. Coach don't need to tell you. You just start it. They got the kings. They're the crowns. They got the throne. You watch it. They're going to tear everybody up. All right, so let me give you what the coach likes this week. So the coach, we got Mr. Keenan Allen of the Los Angeles Chargers taking on those Oakland Raiders. So if I pick Phillip Rivers, obviously he's going to have to throw the ball to someone, and Keenan Allen loves tearing up some Raiders. Last time he played him, he had 133 yards and a touchdown. I don't see why he couldn't do that again, folks. And then also, I got Mr. Juju Smith-Schuster. Yeah, that's right. I told you Antonio is basically untouchable and you should start him every week. But Juju just as bad, baby. And he taking on those Falcons with that beat-up secondary. Juju going to go to the house for sure. Also, I got Mr. Adam Thielen. Woo, boy, this boy's come on the scene and he's done nothing but tear it up. Ever since he hooked up with Kirk Cousins, him and him have the connection like no tomorrow, folks. You run Adam Thielen out there every week, buddy. He's getting at least 9 to 10 receptions, and you know he's going to take it to the house. Also, not last but not least, folks, Mr. Brandon Cooks. He finally got his first touchdown last week for the Rams, and he's integrated himself up nicely. He took them to the house. They're taking on those Seahawks. But this ain't the Seahawks of old. The Legion of Boom is gone. Earl Thomas out for the year. Richard Sherman, he plays for the Niners. Everybody else, they're retired. That secondary ain't the same, and they're going to get torn up on Sunday. And my rising star in the diva category, folks, I got Mr. John Brown of the Baltimore Ravens. Ever since he's gone over to Baltimore and hooked up with Flacco, these two love each other, folks. We're talking 3 touchdowns, 338 yards through the air already. He might have had a little health issues, but since he's landed in Baltimore, him and Flacco been finding each other each week, and I think John Brown going to tear up that Cleveland defense and take it to the house one more time, folks. All right, so here's my sit-downs of the week at the diva position, folks. This week, I'm sorry, Mr. Demaryius Thomas, but I'm just going to have to tell you to sit down once again. I'm sorry, but you just keep playing as a blocker. They don't even want to throw you the ball. And you're taking on the New York Jets, and they got a decent freaking secondary. I just don't think you're going to get much more. As long as they go with the ground and pound of Denver, those receivers ain't going to get much else, folks. And also, on that list is Mr. Michael Crabtree of the Baltimore Ravens. I know he's taking on Cleveland, but John Brown's a star. Crabtree's been there, and he's not getting any love. So I think you need to wait until him and Flacco figure out a relationship, and then you can start him again. All right, folks, there's your divas. Let's kick it over those running backs and make sure we get those real numbers going. All right, guys. So here's my running backs for the week. But just like receivers, here's my watch the throne running back. So this week, you always start these guys. Remember that. Don't ask the coach, just start them. We got Todd Gurley III, Alvin Kamara, and Ezekiel Elliott. Those 3 are the workhorses of their team. I know Mark Ingram's coming back. I don't care. Alvin Kamara's a beast. Put him in every week. All right. So here's the rest of my list for my running backs. This week, I got Mr. Melvin Gordon III. I don't know if you see the theme, but I'm picking on the Raiders, and everybody else should too. They go and let go of Khalil Mack, who's had a strip sack and a fumble in each game. Are you kidding me, Gruden? What do you know? I'm the man. Get out of here. All right. Going on, Kanji. All right. And then also I got Mr. Christian McCaffrey, folks. That's right. He's healthy. He's looking good. He's coming off a bye. He's taking on those New York Giants at home. McCaffrey looked real nice in that last game with 183 yards. I think he doesn't get that much, but he's definitely going to tear up those Giants. And also I got Mr. David Johnson. Welcome to the list, Mr. David Johnson. I'm glad he's woken up. He started off real slow. He's coming off that hand injury, but David Johnson's really starting to get it going now with that Josh Rosen's taking over. They take it on the Niners, and I know they looked impressive, but you can run on the Niners. Also, last but not least, folks, same game. Well, the first one, I'm going with beast mode. Marshawn Lynch taking on those Los Angeles Chargers in LA. Now, I know Oakland's probably going to get beat up, but Lynch going to get his too, folks. And I think Lynch gets in the end zone and maybe even 80 to 90 yards. And my rising star of the week, I got Mr. T.J. Yeldon. Leonard Fournette can't stay on the field, and T.J. Yeldon is making sure he takes full advantage of that. They're taking on the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City, and I think he's got that little special sauce that's going to help the Jaguars take down the Chiefs and give them their first loss. And my sit-down of the week, folks, at running back, well, I got a couple. Mr. LaShawn McCoy, I need you to come to the front and sit your butt down on the bench. You have just been off to a horrible start, and you're taking on those Tennessee Titans. Now, I know you're thinking, Titans? That defense is scary, folks. Go look it up. Scary. They've been stopping everybody this year. They beat the Eagles in overtime. I'm impressed. I think they're going to shut down McCoy. And also, Chris Carson, folks. Last week, I had him as my star. He didn't even play. He came out the week before. He looked great. This week, sit him down. We don't trust what Seattle's doing. They're taking on the Rams, and I don't trust anything that Seattle's throwing at you. You need to give it some time, folks. All right, let's kick it over to the position that's kicking everybody's butt. Those tight ends, and finish this week off strong. Alright guys, here's my tight ends. Now, I ain't got no watch the throne on the tight ends because I can't tell you anything about the tight ends this year. So we just gonna keep playing this week to week. So this week, I got Mr. Zach Ertz of the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Minnesota Vikings. Now the Vikings, they're pretty good, but Zach Ertz has finally found his connection again with Mr. Old Boy. I can't remember his name, not Foles, but the other one. Man, I'm gonna be mad when I figure that out later. But they've been looking real nice, and they know they're gonna got a good connection. So I think Zach Ertz is really doing good this year. Also, I got Mr. Jared Cook. Man, of the one thing that's come out of Oakland that's good this year is Jared Cook. Him and Derek Carr have a great relationship, and I think that thing lasts long. They're taking on the Los Angeles Chargers, and they're not that good against a tight end, and I think Jared Cook's definitely going to help you out, folks. Also, I got Mr. George Kittle. I know, I told you to sit him down. This boy can play. He can play for real. And I don't care who's throwing to him. He's got skills. And he's taking on those Arizona Cardinals. And one thing I know, folks, the Arizona Cardinals cannot stop a tight end. They haven't stopped a tight end in like 3 years. So you want to start everyone who's a tight end against those Cardinals. And then, last but not least, folks, I got Mr. Jordan Reed. He's healthy. He's coming off a bye. And he's looking real nice. Alex Smith loves to dump the ball off, and Jordan Reed is the perfect person to give it to. They're taking on the New Orleans Saints on Monday Night Football, and I think Jordan Reed's going to get you in the end zone. And my rising star of the week of tight end, folks, well, I got Vance McDonald of the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're taking on those Atlanta Falcons. And I know that Falcon secondary is trash. And everybody knows Mr. McDonald. He's the one that stiffed on that Buccaneer. He's got 1 touchdown and 200 yards. And Jesse James might have been the man, but I think McDonald's took his position. And that goes to say, here's my sit-downs for tight ends. And I was just speaking his name, Jesse James. He came out, we thought he was going to be the man, but Vince McDonald is taking his spot. So you're going to sit Jesse James down, folks. And also, Charles Clay, where you been all year? You were once an elite tight end. I ain't seen nothing from you. Until you show us something, you get on the bench too, sir, because no one needs that kind of 0 points from you. All right, folks. Well, there's my start and sit for week 5. I hope you enjoy and come back next week, folks. Get out there and beat them all up. Woo!